Good evening and hello again. Welcome back to SSRL Season 5, and this time it's Division 2 from Spa-Francorchamps yet again, and we all hope you are doing well and are having a fantastic Tuesday. And we do hope whatever your day has brought you, we hope that we can bring a good end to it with some action in F124. This week we are around the famous and iconic Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and we will go through that history in just a second. But first of all, let's see where things stand in the calendar. So, as you know, we are at Spa this week, and then it's Portimao for our first full quali session of the season, then followed by a 1-week break, and then off to Azerbaijan, Hungary, Montreal, followed by the second full qualifying session in the season, and that's Monza. Then we have another full week's break, and it's Australia, China, Bahrain, Suzuka, the third full qualifying session, and then one last week's break for the final stretch, and then we end off in Silverstone for the finale, which is another, of course, full qualifying session. Your standings coming into tonight. Fellow Sun leading the way after getting a win in round 1 and a second place in round 2, of course, in Singapore. Fellow Sun leading the championship by 5 points to current world champion Andy Andre. Then in third place, Danger David there with a third and fourth in the first 2 rounds, 33 points. So would like a little bit of a result, maybe try and get one up on both Andy and Fellow Sun, but needs to bring back his qualifying pace from last season. The reserve, Rush Nasiri, stands in fourth. Fifth place, Moksha. If he can get third place tonight, it would be 4 thirds in a row for him between both divisions. Then it's Control in the reserve spot in 6th. Then Jolly Boy John in 7th there with an 11th and 5th. Kovachka, Tabran and Snake round out your top 10. Then from 11th to 15th is Energetic, Mr. Wouter, Toby, Quincy and Tarkangino. Then from 16th to 20th, it's Daryl, Flip, Enzo, Race Chase, and Ibo, the third reserve driver that's taken part in this season so far. Then, rounding out from 21st to 23rd is Quan, Julio, who has since retired, and Evor. Now, hopefully we will see Evor tonight, but I'm not going to put too much money on that. But, of course, we had an absolutely crazy race last night in Division 1. It was dry for the most part, and then in those final few laps it started to rain. Andy and Fellow Sun were trying to battle it out for the lead, but in the end it was on Andy on softer compound of tyres that ended up taking that win, and I imagine Andy will show the blistering pace that he had from last night. Control was really the only one who could match him, but even then, it wasn't all to be. In one of the drivers that I'd love to see try Division 2 at some point, maybe later on down the line, was Robastian there. He went from attempted a last to first challenge, ended up, where did he end up? I can't remember off the top of my head. Last night was such a crazy race. I can't remember absolutely everything, but I know Moksha was in the podium. It's Energetic. Bonjour, my dear. Bonjour to you, Energetic. How are you doing? Good to see you. We're about to be underway for some Division 2 action, and hopefully you will enjoy it along with us. We're just currently waiting for the lobby to get started. We also have Rolly in here, who I do believe got a good result last night as well in Division 1. He was I think he was a reserve driver, if I remember that correctly. Might have been in the Ferrari, but I could be misremembering as well. A lot's happened since then, but whatever happens tonight, it will be a very entertaining race regardless of what happens, I imagine. But let's just hope for a lack of safety cars, because that's what really bunched the field up together. Doing good. I thought we raced at Spa, so like 40 minutes from it in I can't pronounce that, so apologies in Belgium. On my yearly anniversary on my wedding, I thought we raced at Spa, so I'm like 40 minutes away from it in Belgium. On my yearly anniversary of my wedding 4 years ago. Oh, so you're currently celebrating your wedding anniversary. Well, happy anniversary to you and your wife or husband, if that is how it goes. And what is up from Quirky Boy? Hello there as well. Welcome to you. Heard your league race got postponed as well, so apologies to you. Hope you can enjoy the action though here in SSRL, because I promise you it will be entertaining regardless. Does look like we are on a bit of a delay, so I do think we're probably going to get underway in a few minutes. But at the moment, I think we are waiting on somebody. I'll just have a quick check in the Discord for you. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know at the moment what's going on as of right now. I've not been informed, but I'm sure we won't be too far away from getting started. So, anyway, predictions for tonight from me are going to be that Danger David is in the top 3 somewhere, followed by Fellow Son and Andy Andre. If last night was anything to go by, that should be that should be a good guess, to be honest with you. But also, I'm just going to try and look at the results for Division 1 last night, just while we're waiting for things to get underway. So in Division 1, here we go. I've just got them up now for you. So, it's in this format. Got it. So let's have a look. Yes, it was Andy Andre, Fellow Son and Moksha that took the top 3. Then it was Sebastian and Andrew. Of course, Andrew I've commentated over in another league called URC. I know how quick he is. So Andrew there getting a nice 5th place. Then it was Rolly in the Ferrari. So Rolly as well back in the... I don't know if he's in the Ferrari this time around. I'm not quite certain. Let's have a quick look to see who is where. Quincy and Andrew, of course, taking their spots in the Mercedes. And actually, just while we're trying to figure all of this out... but yes, Rolly will be back in the Ferrari this time around, and we have all 20 drivers now, so we should be good to go at any moment. We're just kind of waiting for something. I do believe the readying up has begun. Indeed, it has. The countdown begins, so we will be not too far away from start here in Spa. And of course, we don't see Daryl in here, so it looks like he's had to... be elsewhere for the evening, and I hope he's doing well. Also, usually he's the first one out during these qualifying sessions, but we'll have to wait and see who will take that crown for this week. And there you go, as you hear, the countdown finishes will begin loading in. So right now, it's gonna be very interesting because, like I said before, it's a mandatory 2-stop rule here in SSRL this week, so it's still the standard 50% race, still this 18-minute 1-session qualifying that we've all been accustomed to over the previous few seasons, but now in the race is a 2-stopper mandatory rule. You cannot avoid this, or else I think you do end in a disqualification. But some improvements who will be looking to really try and just get to the end, I do believe, let's have a look. Let's see if I get the driver list up again, just to make sure I don't get my thoughts crossed over with Division 1 and Division 2. Session is still waiting to start, even though it says 0 right at the top there. We are currently still waiting for things to get underway at the moment. EA being themselves as, EA will EA, that's the best way to put it. And I'm still waiting to have the spectator controls. If this doesn't go away soon, I am going to be mildly concerned. And we are restarting the countdown, or we are not. And we're underway for qualifying. The 18 minutes is now... we're now off for 18 minutes for qualifying. So, as of right now, let's see. Is Race Chaser in here? I don't think he is. So, one of the retirements that carries over from last night to tonight is Rush the Series, so he will be looking to get an improvement in that Ferrari seat and then kind of try and take it from there. But what's everybody doing? Soft tyres, as you'd predict. I'd be surprised if nobody took the mediums just to try and get some bankers in and then go fast on those softs for the rest of the session, but no one taking that risk so far, although it is early days still, and someone might change their minds once things get underway. I do believe there is starting to be movement there in the Red Bull garage there for Tark and Gino, so mechanics are moving their tools out the way, but it's the Mercedes there, as I don't know what I saw there, but something went flying on the screen there. EA having problems again? What? Apparently, but no, it's Moksha in the Alpine that's underway, and we'll lead the field out for a outlap. And everybody else following suit. Pleasant Snake in the Williams. Pleasant Snake really having a bit of a struggle this season. He finished 14th last time out in Singapore, and we know he can be higher than that. I do remember his last win, off the top of my head, might not be this far back, but was the opener in Season 3 in Silverstone, or it might have been Season... yeah, I think it was Season 3 or 4. It was one of the two there. And didn't really find himself on the top step much after that. It's been a long while, so we know he can do better. Moksha, though, is having an excellent season so far. He's consistently been in 3rd place over the last few races between Division 1 and 2. So I'm supporting Mr. Flip, Meister, Wouter, and Legend Ibo tonight. Mr. Flip, Meister, Wouter... Okay, Mr. Wouter is going to be Energetics' call for tonight, and that was actually Herman's call also, but it didn't quite come to fruition. Well, it hasn't come to fruition at the moment, and maybe number 3 will be the time we see Mr. Wouter bring out the pace. He is in the Haas, currently on his outlap, but we are still looking at Moksha, who is leading the field away, and it is quite an active track right now. If I was that Ferrari that's gone on the outlap, that's Rolly A1881. That's a really smart move to do. But anyway, to begin the qualifying session, we're going to ride with Moksha and go for a flying lap of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in this car. So approaching into turn 1, you want to go to the left as far as you possibly can. Cut that apex. Oh, cut a bit too much. Caught his rear right tyre on the barrier. And unfortunately, this is going to be a unrepresentative time from the driver. So here we go. Flat through here. It is Eau Rouge through to Radion. And now down the Camel straight here. First DRS zone. You open that rear wing. And now you want to approach the com as fast as you possibly can using your battery. Oh, he's lifted off and he's abandoned the lap, so he will not go any faster. Moksha there having a terrible moment in the Alpine, so I do believe that means Pleasant Snake will be the next one. So we're going to follow through Lecombe with him, looking a hell of a lot faster than Moksha did. Now, down here, it is a long right-hander. You want to go as far to the left as you possibly can, but that wasn't really the best way to enter the corner. Now it is Speaker's Corner, left-hander. Meet that exit curb, and now you want to go through here. It is going to be 2 left-handers, so plant yourself to the right. Then it's left, sweep, 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 left again. And now it hit that exit curb, and now you approach this right S section here. It's right, then it's left, onto the exit curb, and then you want to approach here. This is Campus Corner, very wide on the apex there, so we didn't get the best line there. And now through this long left-hander, right-hander even, flat through there. And now he is going to be approaching Blanchemont at a rate of knots. You go through this long sweeper first, and then here it is Blanchemont. You want to go flat through there, but meet that apex as close to the curb as you can. Set yourself up now for the bus stop chicane. Brake at the 100-meter board. Meet that first apex. Don't go too wide there. And then you meet that long left-hander as well. 149.789 from Moksha, but that's not representative because it's a 143 from Pleasant Snake there. And that was a lap of Spa-Francorchamps, and fellow Son instantly beating that on pole with a 142.653. Sir Ibo as well up into 5th with a 147.7. Enzo there with a 143, and times are coming in thick and fast here. We've got a V-carb in the background. That'll be of Crank George, I do believe. And just want to kind of give a shout out here to Bavish. He is from Mauritius. I think that's how you say it. I'm just gonna make sure of that. But I think I'm just currently trying to find out all sorts of information. Mauritius, there you go. So saying it correctly there, second time around. But anyway, East African driver, first time here racing in SSRL. Really do hope the best for him. Hope he has a good result. And yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on you very intently, I do say so myself. But at the moment, Craig George has retired from the session. He's had an incident going out of Lacombe. And unfortunately for him, that's the end of Crank's qualifying session. It's a 1:45.828. He's going to be near the back with a time like that. So unfortunately for him, his qualifying comes to an abrupt end. At the moment as well, just to kind of... I haven't gone through your standings at the moment, so I didn't... Or not your constructors anyway, but just to let you know, Mercedes do lead the way as of right now. So that is... Sauber, yes, no, it's not Mercedes, it is Kick Sauber leading the way. Merck is second, behind by 16 points. Red Bull in third, trailing by 23 points. So the Red Bulls are looking to get a good result today. And I think Danger David would also want a good qualifying, because he qualified 10th last time out. And I remember him talking last season, he was a good championship contender. But unfortunately for him, he really said he needs to improve that qualifying pace, and he will have been thinking about that last night, because he could only manage 4th place from 10th, and you do feel like, you know, he's better than that. We've seen him do better than that, and he was a championship contender right up until the end last season. But unfortunately, it's that final race which really caught him out. But anyway, Quan coming across the line, it's a 1:44.867. At the moment, we are still waiting for a few drivers just to set their flying laps. So Brown was about to be the next one, but he's had to go into the pits, and there's a Red Bull there. It's Danger David, who's gone round. At the final corner, there's his teammate Tarcangino just passing by. But now for Danger David, his qualifying program is a little bit ruined. But also in all of this as well, I've got to say, Moksha up into second place. But then Andy Andre, oh my word, a 1:41.879. That is going to be some time to beat, and I imagine Andy will only get faster as the session goes on. But we need to keep an eye, because Flip has just started his flying lap, and that was a call from Energetic earlier on in quali. So with 10 minutes to go, Flip is about to set his first flying lap. Rush the Series is also in behind this car, setting a time at the moment. He's on a flying lap also. He's either just gone through Lacombe or just coming onto the Camel straight now, but we are going to stay with Flip as he goes through Pouhon, flat through here, as we've already seen, and these cars go extremely fast in that section of track. And now here we are, so it's got to be right, then left, looking good so far, but that might have been a bit of a wide line there, so I don't think that will have been his best lap by far and away. But now he's going to approach Blanchimont in a few moments time, and then we'll see how this lap unfolds. So here we go, long sweeping left here, and then we'll come approaching Blanchimont yet again, tighter left here, but you can keep your foot to the floor with the downforce that these cars carry. Very easy to do so. Now for the final time in the bus stop, and an in lap. Flip will still not set a time, and I think that's going to be a lot of pressure. What can Danger David do? I can't think he will stay out. So a bit of an anticlimactic lap there from the Haas driver, but Venzo as well. The Alpines are actually having a fantastic time, and Danger David does the exact same thing. So both drivers who still haven't set a flying lap are still behind, and Rush the Series has invalidated this lap. So it's from 16th to 20th, still need to set a lap, but Andy really setting the pace early on, and Enzo there with a great lap there, up into 4th. And I remember last season, Enzo had fantastic qualifying pace, but when it came to the race pace, he was just nowhere to be seen. And now, well, we're going to cut to Rowley here. He's currently on a flying lap, coming down the Camel straight into Lacombe he goes, and I think he's actually just done a lap, because he's up into 7th with a 1:43.5. And well, that is all said and done. So Fellow Son in the top 3. Second place as of right now. He's just completing his outlap on a... I don't think that is a fresh set of softs. It is not. That is a 1 lap old tyre there. So there's going to be a bit of life taken out of them. But we'll see how that all works out. In terms of... Oh, Ibo there was on the mediums. And he's actually much closer this time. 1:47.799. So there's about another second in that lap. Bavish as well. Is currently on a 1:52.586. Don't know if that's a representative time for him so far. We'll certainly see, as he's currently on an outlap. But now, Fellow Son opens the DRS for another flying lap. So he's going through La Source right now, and he's going to come down the hill, which is down to Eau Rouge, through to Radion. And then onto the Camel Straight. Let's see how he does through here as we go on board. Look at the car go. Bit of a rear end slide there, which is just a quirk of the current handling model on this game. But the car looking fast. And as you know, Kick Saubers are currently on top in the Constructors. We will come back to those in due time. But, oh, 200s down there on his personal best. Remember, the delta on the top right does not compare to the session best. It compares to the driver's personal best. Pleasant Snake is also on a flyer behind this Kick Sauber. He's just on the Camel Straight as we speak. No, he isn't, and he's actually invalidated a lap, so my apologies there. I was completely wrong, and Williams actually ahead of this Kick Sauber. But at the moment, Fellow Sun keeps his lap validated for the time being. And I must say, there is, just kind of looking at this, there's a big gap here from first to fifth of nearly 1.4 seconds there. So there is definitely a huge gap in skill, and Fellow Sun will probably be looking to try and close this down. But again, through Campus, he's very wide, and he's 100ths down on his time. Doesn't sound natural at all. It really doesn't, Greggy. Yes, the Kick Sauber's leading. Ugh, no, very unnatural indeed. But there you go, it's all said and done. That's how the tables are turning in this division. Fellow Sun now is about to approach the line, but it's into the pits. He knew that lap was going to be an improvement and comes into the pits, and that's kind of what we've been seeing throughout a lot of the bottom half of the field there. Danger David is on an out lap with nearly 5.5 minutes to go. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Who is that for? I think that is for Quan there. Yes, he's pointing the wrong way. So I bet you he's facing the wrong direction because he touched that inside barrier at La Source and, well, the car just sent itself round. And that was the end of this. But Evor, who is a very quick driver in his own right, going through the bus stop chicane now. Oh, there's a Williams round. Everything's happening at once here. And Evor there up into 8th place with a 1:43.522. And at the moment, Andy still looks pretty unbeatable with only 5 minutes to go in the session. The rest of the series begins his lap. And to be honest, it's the bottom half of the field that are currently starting their flying laps. Let's just see who is where. Bavish here invalidates a lap. I think someone's finally set a lap. Let's just see who that was. I think it was... I think that was Tarkin Gene. No, I think... Yeah, no, I can't quite figure that out. I think it might have been Ibo, but he's on fresh medium tyres. Oh, well, I'll come back to that at another point in time. But here we go. We're looking at Flip yet again. Came into the pits last time out. Now with 4.5 minutes to go. Whatever. Oh, a bit wide again. And it's just through that. And that is Fanye that is getting that wrong. Legend Flip is an alien in the wet. Well, he'll be hoping for a wet session like it was at the end of the race last time in Division 1. By the way, Tabrown also improved to... No, Tabrown has always been in 7th. So that will be the driver who improved. There we go. I figured that out eventually with a 1:43.403. And that is a very good time from the Aston Martin driver. And the Aston Martin City goes up. Flip goes into the pits again. What is he doing? Can't be doing this. It's too late in the session. I don't understand it. You can't... He's going to run out of soft tyres for the race as well. That is a confusing call from the Haas driver. I'm going to be wondering about that. If he gets on the podium, all fair enough. But anyway, at the moment, we are looking at last season's championship contender, Danger David, complete a flying lap here, and he won't go into the pits this time around and doesn't spin at the bus stop, although that was pretty close. It's going to be a 1:42.652, and that's 1,000ths ahead of Fellow Sun. Danger David, take a bow, but that is nearly 0.8 of a second to the Mercedes in front. I think he screwed the lap, says Energetic, so Flip goes back into the pits. Really, well, I don't know. I would have just completed the lap anyway and just put a time on the board. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1 and 2. It is for Tarkagino here. I don't know if he's had a bit of a moment on the outlap, but I think he's actually just being slow just to try and warm up those tyres. Kavachka now starts his lap. Oh, my word. Bit too much curb there on the exit, and that just sends his car around but keeps it under control. But this might be a very much downhill from here. The momentum, as he invalidates the lap anyway, and Kavaksha will surely have to bail out of that lap. Rolly has now started another flyer, and at the moment, Tabran is also on a flyer. So a lot of drivers are now starting to put pedal to the metal in these last couple of minutes, I should say. 2 minutes 15 to go. Now, one-shot quality is just more fun. Oh yeah, so between fuel point, let's do. Now, one-shot quality is more fun. Hello, Daz, by the way. Welcome to the stream. But I think that one-session quality is more fun for the strategy of things, because don't forget, we have a mandatory 2-stop rule in place here, so there needs to be a bit of strategy when you think about qualifying, which I do personally love. But anyway, Fellow Son at the moment on a lap, but he was down by a few hundredths there, so this isn't an improvement either. And it seems to be Fanye where drivers are struggling the most. But through Campus Corner, that's about the best line I've seen any driver take, and he's up by 4 tenths here. Not enough to pip Andy Andre, but this will be a good lap if things stay as they are, and that's his teammate Kovacs up ahead. So there's an opportunity for slipstream here. Fellow Son and Kicksauber making all the right calls here, as Moksha now Tabran up into 5th there on 3-lap old soft tyres. That's impressive work there from no! And Fellow Son is round! That was a good lap from the Kicksauber up until that point. Where is Fellow Son? He's spun round 180 degrees. And that was a dramatic spin there for the championship leader. So Danger David as well! Oh my word, he's in the gravel at Fanye. And that has all got wrong for both drivers at just about the same time. No damage to the Red Bull as of right now. But, oh no, this is Lacombe, sorry. I was looking at completely the wrong angle. A drive to survive move from Fellow Son. Spin Alice says Benji. Hello, Benji. Welcome to the stream or the broadcast. How you doing? But anyway, Tabran as well up into 5th at the moment. Moksha improving in Sector 1 by 600ths of a second. And now the flying laps will start to be completed. Flying laps being completed up and down the field. Apart from Andy Andre, who isn't out on a flyer. Moksha improves by 4 tenths of a second in Sector 2. Can he keep it all together? Unlike Fellow Son on his flying lap. Let's see what he can do. The qualifying session is complete. 2 drivers up ahead completing their flies, but I think they're heading straight to the pits. No. So let's see what the improvements are for the... I think there was a brief improvement there from Talcan Gino. But anyway, Moksha keeps it all together. He's going to now come to the start-finish straight. Elbrun to second! Moksha, who said he wasn't sure where his pace stood. But look at how he's delivered. And now it's going to be his teammate next across the line. And that's Quincy up ahead as well. On a flyer himself. So I think Quincy would have given the Alpine a bit of a slipstream. Let's see what they can do. Enzo across the line into 3rd place for Enzo. Quincy wasn't able to improve there, even though it was just a personal best. But the Alpines lock out 2nd and 3rd. It is becoming an absolutely fantastic qualifying session for those two right at the end as well. Tabran is going slow. Mr. Wouter could only manage 8th place, but we are seeing Pleasant Stake on an improvement. 3 tenths in Sector 2, so this could be, depending on Sector 1, either 7th or 8th, or maybe even 6th, maybe even 5th, but he's invalidated the lap. It's no longer a personal best, so that's the end of the session for him. Evor is on a flyer as well, I think. He's approaching the bus stop chicane. Let's see what the fast Spanish show... Oh, he's messed it up in the bus stop, but let's see when he gets to the start-finish line what the time is going to be, and that is 1 tenth down, so that is it from the Spanish driver, and Flip is all the way down in 12th as well. But Andy Andre there in pole position. So Brown trying to keep out of everyone's way, although he doesn't have to. There's nobody on a flying lap behind him, in all honesty, so he can just go to the pits. Flip improved. Flip did improve indeed to 143.606, but outside the top 10. Can't imagine he'll be happy with that. But anyway, Sir Ibo there. Where was Bavish, actually? Bavish from Mauritius in East Africa up into 15th, the 144.171. That's an okay qualifying from the new driver, so he's right up there for the points. So there we go. Bavish there, up into 15th, and there you go. So Andy RJ, though, takes pole position by just under half a second there. So Moksha and Enzo I really do hope can bring the pain. But Danger David improving on his qualifying performance last week, and he will be in 4th position. Andy as well qualifies in pole, unlike last week as well in Division 2. And Enzo definitely being one of the biggest improvements in qualifying. I'm just trying to remember where he qualified last week, and I can't actually find him on my list, so maybe he didn't turn up. But anyway, it is, of course, 2nd for Moksha as well, and then 3rd for his teammate Enzo. But can Enzo actually keep it there? We'll soon find out. So we've already announced your top 3, but from 4th to last, it's Danger David, Fellow Sun, Rush the Siri, Sabran, Wouter, Pleasant Snake, and Rolly. Then it's Evor, Flip, Quincy, Tarkin Gino, Bavish rounding out your top 15. And then from 16th to 20th is Jolly Boy John, Kavashka, Kwan, Crank, and Ibo. So, now what do we do? Well, we are going to go on a quick 3-minute break, but I am also going to take you through your constructor standings. So, as I said before, it's Kick Sauber in the lead, then it's Mercedes and Red Bull fighting for 2nd as of right now. Danger David hoping Tarkin Gino can make his way up the field a little bit. The Aston Martins lie in 4th, but the Alpines, who are needing a result to try and bring themselves into the Constructors' Championship, well, they've got one step right. 2nd and 3rd in qualifying is not too bad at all. Then it's Williams, Haas, Racing Bulls, Ferrari, who have scored points, and McLaren, the current Constructors' Champion in SSRL, still without points. So, as we wait for the race to begin, no formation lap, but we will be right back in just a few minutes. So, don't go anywhere. It should be a good race. See you in just a few moments. Welcome back. It is SSRL Round 3, Division 2 in Spa. And, of course, as there are no formation laps because of bugs, we are not going to be having one for the remainder of the season or until there is a bug fix at some point. But I wouldn't hold your breath on that. So we're just going to start getting things underway right now. I do just want to go through some of the track history, though. So the track has 19 turns at a length of 7.004 kilometers. And if you need this, that's 4.352 miles. The race lap record is a 1:44.701 held by Sergio Perez in the RB20 in the Grand Prix. That did occur last year. And the circuit was first opened in 1921 and has seen 8 changes along its 103 years. It initially shared the Grand Prix with Zolder and Nivelles, but it wasn't until 1985 when Spa was made the permanent home of the Belgian Grand Prix. The only times it wasn't held here was in 2003 due to the country's advertising laws against tobacco, and in 2006 due to certain refurbishments around the circuit. The first Grand Prix race wasn't held until 1925. That's for the Belgian Grand Prix, that is. And before 1970, there were no safety modifications of any kind. The original layout actually did use a lot of public roads and was a length of, get this, 14.100 kilometers, which equates to 8.761 miles in length. And the race lap record actually belongs to, for that record, a certain Henry Pescarolo with a 3 minutes 13.4. which is an insane time compared to how tracks are these days. And I think you can hear the beeping because that means we are about to be underway for the Belgian Grand Prix in Division 2. Who is going to take the win? Will it be Andy Andre for the second night in a row, or will it be Moksha? So here we go, 5 lights on your screen, and it's going Spa. And I think Andy got the best start of them all there, but now there's a lot of midfielders trying to sort themselves out. Is Enzo going to have a look? No, he wasn't quite close enough. Danger David to the outside of 3rd place, and he's been caught up in a bit of a concertina effect here. Fellow Son down to 5th position as of right now, but it looks like Enzo has gone away with that, and Tabran is up into 6th as well in the background, overtaking Rush the Siri here. Let's see how the Flip is also up in position as well, into 11th. Tabran up into 5th as well. He's having an excellent start in the Aston Martin. The Alpine of Moksha, though, very close to Andy, and now Fellow Son is trying to get back at the Aston Martin, but no, he's forced wide. This is a disastrous start for the Kick Sauber outfit. Not what they would have wanted. Kvatsky up into 16th in the background as well. That's his teammate, but at the moment now it's the Ferrari of Russia. Oh, big contact in the background. Something's happened between Quincy and Babish there. The debut driver getting into a tussle with the admin. Name a worse start, I dare you. But anyway, at the moment, the top 4 have somehow concertinaed together. And at the moment, it's Andy Andre, Moksha, Enzo, and Danger David, which is as it was in qualifying. So somehow, despite all the tough tussling, the only one we've really lost is Fellow Son, who actually did qualify 5th. Oh, hang on, someone's back at Eau Rouge. No, they're not. No one's there. That's the DRS activation line, I do believe. But anyway. But yeah, no. Looks like that's all okay to me. But as we now continue on, Fellow Son down from 5th to 7th, trying to get a position back, but no DRS activated until next lap. And there you go, Andy Andre, of course, takes the fastest lap, as he was first across the line. But now Enzo is starting to lose touch with his teammate to DRS, so will Moksha try and give a helping hand? It looked like Andy had made a little error, but now Tabran has finally made a move on Rush the Siri, and as has Evor. Evor has crept up the field there, up 4 positions. One of the losers of the start there was rolling down 4 positions. Crank Jorg was in the pits as well, so he's repairing damage to the car, I would imagine, as now we are seeing the passes of Flip and Mr. Welter go side by side. Flip up into 9th position, and Moksha taking the lead of the race, and Andy now won't have an easy time to the line, as Quincy now is trying to recover. He's up into 15th, and with the damage front ring to boot, and Babish there. Oh, that was a bit too much there from the V-Carb driver. I thought he was going to spin round there, but he pushed Quincy along. And the debutant making no friends here with the main admin of the server. Oh, dearie me. There might be some words with Babish at the end of the race. But here we go. Look at Tabran. This is the highest I've ever seen him run. This is an impressive race from the Aston Martin driver so far. And Aston Martin need a result if they're going to have a look at the Constructors' Championship, because Kick Sauber are currently down and being kicked around. And then also we have the Alpines up there as well. So Aston Martin needs to try and follow suit. And Jolly Boy John could usefully get a few positions there for their constructors. But at the moment, in the Drivers' Championship, this is heavily swinging towards Moksha and Andy Andre as of right now. So, Fellow Son, though, is starting to bring that gap down, but he loses a couple of attempts there. Danger David, well, fastest up going to whoever you want, whoever you like, whatever you say. And at the moment, well, it's looked like it was Tabran with the fastest lap there on medium tyres for about 2 laps. So Tabran finding excellent pace as of right now, but it looks like he was within the activation zone of the DRS, so he should get it down the Kemmel straight. And there you go, that rear wing does indeed open. But Danger David at the moment down the inside for 3rd place on Enzo. Will he make it 2-1 for 2nd? No, he doesn't. He holds back for now, but in the background we are seeing Pleasant Stake get past not 1 but 2 Haas drivers there. He's up into 9th place and has now Evor ahead. Well, 1.8 seconds. Impressive drive from Snake thus far, back into where he started. Bit of a nightmare there, but these past 3 laps have been kind to him. Now, we've got to remember, in case this is your first time watching this league, we have a mandatory 2-stop rule this time around. So I would expect to see the first pit stops really come not too far away from now. That was what we saw last night in Division 1. But now, is that going to translate over to Division 2? And to be honest, I wouldn't deem it too unlikely. Andy RJ looks like he's about to have a go at the Alpine of Moksha here. So he could be maybe into La Source, looking at a move into first place. We'll stay with this battle for the time being. Although I say that, the Haas's are doing battle yet again through Blanchimont. I thought there was going to be contact there between Wouter and Flip, but they keep it clean and tidy for the time being. Now that we are going across the next DRS zone, let's have a look at the lead. It looks like Moksha has kept it for the time being, and it's looking very good indeed. Looking all solid, looking all controlled as of right now. So not bad running from him so far, but I imagine this might be the lap where he's vulnerable. Tabran as well, still trying to stay within that DRS, but Fellow Sun has also caught up, as now we are starting to see, I think Rustasiri had a moment there out of turn 1, and so he's now losing positions and has had to avoid a cutting penalty, slowing right down. Andy RJ back into the lead, but Evor up into 7th, and there we go. So not bad work from the McLaren driver, and now, well, Rustasiri losing more positions there after cutting Radion there. And now Tarkangino in the background, just outside of this battle, has got up into 16th ahead of Quincy. And now is 2 seconds to Kovachka in front. But Bavish there getting himself into a little bit of trouble with the admin earlier on. The admin, of course, losing his front wing in a collision that we didn't catch on the broadcast. And at the moment is still all the way down in 17th. So needs a safety car to really bring him back into the equation. But as things stand right now, well, Moksha has just lost DRS to Andy RJ, so can David do something? And it looks like it is going to be a very similar tale to what we saw last night, right up until the end. Once Andy gets that lead and once he's settled down, he really just runs away with it. Spa, as Quincy said last night, is his playground, and now he's got the pace to show it, and he's just letting the rockets boost. And now that he's all in a bit of clean air and the medium tyres begin to become the better tyre. And at the moment, Sabran's still within DRS somehow, but he's over that 1 second bubble as now Enzo makes his way past David here, but they're still going to be side by side. Fellow Sun having a bit of a squiggle out of La Source there. They're going side by side as well, and Fellow Sun up into 5th place. Now, what does that mean for Tabran in the activation zone? Did he get DRS or was it Fellow Sun? Whoever it was will get a second helping. It was Tabran. So here we go as Enzo finally makes his way past yet again of David. So he must have fought back somehow. But unfortunately for the Red Bull driver, it was a short-lived moment. And now we're seeing 3-4 wide. Oh, there's contact with Rustasiri. And Pleasant Sakers and the McLaren of Evor has a bit of a moment in Lacombe. And Rustasiri as well, side by side with somebody else. Jolly Boy John there trying to get 10th. Oh, my word. And Rustasiri Tokyo drifts into Bruxelles, now into Speaker's Corner, gets that Ferrari under control. I wonder if the tyres are just a bit overheated at the moment. Needs to try and get them cooled down, but that gives Jolly Boy John the inside into Pouon. And that is 10th place for the Aston Martin driver. But now Flip is going to have a go up into 11th, down the inside at this right-left-hander contact between the sister teams. Oh, my word. It is all starting to kick off now for this position. But at the moment, as Bavish now gets a 3-second penalty, as does Sir Ribbo as well. Very much on par with what we saw from Sir Ribbo last night. He will just be hoping that things just go his way in terms of safety cars. But at the moment now, I really want to focus on this battle for a second because we have a caution in Sector 2. So it looks like Moksha is making his way into the pits. So he is the first one of the top 5, well, the top everybody to make a pit stop. But there you go, a few drivers now following in. So from 7th to about 16th, pit stops are beginning to occur. And we'll see who goes on what. So Moksha onto a fresh set of mediums. And let's see where he comes out. The Alpine driver trying to undercut the Mercedes and try and get ahead at the pit stop. So Andy will have to think about covering off us now. Danger David with DRS, but Fellow Son following close behind. Danger up into third, Fellow Son up into third. Oh no! Contact between the kick and the Red Bull. Fellow Son loses part of his front wing, and that means Enzo will have a go at third place round the outside. Gets it done. And there you go, Enzo now into third place, and Fellow Son, well, after contact with David, is going to start chopping down the field. It is becoming a nightmare scenario. 5 points in front he was, and now if things stay as they are, well, that gap is going to increase. Well, it's going to go down from 5 points, and Andy Andre will get the swing of the championship, but Moksha as well is undercutting all of these drivers. If he can catch up to Tark and Gino, Moksha will be in undercut range of the Mercedes. Now, we need to keep an eye on what Andy does, but we also need to keep an eye on Fellow Son as Trabanas now found his way back into the DRS zone of Fellow Son there for fourth place. So this is all starting to brew into a fantastic Grand Prix. But Enzo fights away past Danger David into Blanchimont. My words, how did he do that? That was incredible stuff from the Alpine. And Fellow Son locking up. He didn't want that to happen again. And now Fellow Son, Danger David, and Enzo all come into the pits to cover off the undercut of Moksha, but is it too little, too late? Moksha is approaching the bus stop chicane. And here we go. What's going to happen ahead of Danger David is that is Kovačka and Tarkagino. Of course, Tarkagino, teammate to Danger David, but it looks like Moksha is out ahead of all of them. So that means, Andy, it is pivotal that he pits sooner rather than later. He is on a different strategy, don't get me wrong, but he will need to start thinking about covering off the Alpine, and then, well, then needs to put his mind to the last pit stop of this race. And now Moksha's going to have DRS on the Red Bull of Tarkagino, but the Red Bull also has DRS, so it will just be a slipstream boost for the Alpine, but his teammate Enzo is also out ahead of the other drivers as well, and Evil is within a fight as well, still fighting with Pleasant Snake there. Fellow Son down to 11th, of course, will have had to take time to replace his front wing, and now he really needs a safety car as Flip gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations, and Sir Ibo is also just come out of the pits. He's on a fresh set of mediums, and now Fellow Son and Evil go side by side into Speaker's Corner. Fellow Son secures 10th place. But at the moment, all eyes on 6th place driver Moksha, who is currently being held up actually by the Red Bull of Tarkagino. So Tarkin might be helping his teammate David just a little bit here. David is actually over 5 seconds. What on earth? What's the Alpine doing there? He's desperate to get past, I understand. And Andy hasn't got into the pits this time around, but it looks like Moksha is so desperate to get past and try and catch Andy Andre. He's going around the outside of Blanchimont, and he gets that done. Impressive stuff. But does Tarkagino have any fight? No, he doesn't. So those tyres are definitely showing their age there. And Moksha up into 5th place, round the outside of Blanchimont there. I thought that was going to end in tears. Has Mr. Walter got into the pits? Yes, he indeed has. And he will now go onto a fresh set of medium tyres. And now we resume as we were. Where does Mr. Walter come out? Ahead of Fellow Son. So now he is slap bang in 4th place and has 2 seconds now to Danger David in front, and Danger David trying to look at having a move maybe on Enzo, but it's Moksha at the moment side by side with Kovačka, and he's got that done. So he's about 19 seconds away from Andy Andre as of right now, but Danger David did get that move done for 6th place, and that's all said and done. And in 10th place, Rush the Siri gets back past Pleasant Snake there. Fellow Son also got past that group as well. As now he's down the inside of Mr. Wouter here. Can Mr. Wouter hold on? His tyres will be a bit colder than Fellow Son's. Fellow Son has had that 1 lap just to get them up to temperature. But at the moment, it's not worked out at all, as Crank Jorg is now the next driver to get a 3-second track limits penalty. At the moment, Crank is just in 19th place. So that really doesn't affect his race all that much. 4 seconds to Sir Ibo. Now I imagine that gap will keep increasing. As of right now, though, it's Moksha definitely bringing down the gap to to Brown there, 11.9 seconds, but just nearly 20 seconds, and Andy still hasn't come in for that pit stop. So the longer Andy stays out, the more this works for Moksha. And you know what? He's in for a fantastic result as things stand right now. So let's see what happens. But at the moment, you are watching the battle for 8th position. And now, Fellow Sun will get that DRS open. And he's going to look to try maybe go down the inside at turn 1. No, decides to hold off for now. And, well, we'll wait as... Oh, Mr. Welter has a moment there out of the source. And now down the hill into from Eau Rouge into Radion. We'll see what happens as Tarkin Gino, the next driver to get a 3-second track limits penalty, is just in front of his teammate. His teammate gets past, but Fellow Sun with the DRS on Mr. Welter there, gets past, and that was as easy as you like. Can Fellow Sun start gapping the Haas behind and try and maybe look at the battle in front? But Tarkin Gino lets his teammate through, and Enzo now, well, he's got a very wide Red Bull teammate to deal with. And, well, Tarkin isn't going to make this easy for Enzo. So let's see what happens as the lap progresses. And Tarkin has already got his teammate to above a second there. So there you go. That's all working out very nicely. At the moment, that gap has stabilized to Moksha and Andy at about 19.5 seconds. It hasn't really moved all that much as of right now. So it's just looking like Andy has this pace under control on these tyres. I do think he is into the pits, though, so let's see how that all works out for the Mercedes driver and, well, current world champion. So here we go. At the moment, Moksha is just approaching the bus stop chicane. Andy has gone into his pit box. Tabran takes the lead of the race, but he's not made his pit stop as of right now. But up 6 positions, so this is an impressive drive so far. Kavachka now makes his stop, so that promotes David up into 4th. But what about Moksha and Andy? And Andy is still ahead. And that is impressive work from Andy there. 1.5 seconds, 1.3 seconds. The gap will decrease a little bit. And Fellow Sun as well is starting to have battles with... that is Tarkin Gino there. So now Tarkin Gino has got to somehow find... Oh, Fellow Sun and sat there, goes side by side into Rouge and Radion. How have they kept that cars pointing forwards? Danger David gets a 3-second penalty for track limits, but Fellow Sun somehow makes it work. It's 3 wide down the Camel Straight. What can Enzo find? Nothing. He has to go and settle for 6th for the time being. But as of right now, how did... who was it? It was Fellow Sun of Mr. Wouter, I think it was. No, Tarkin Gino side by side through Eau Rouge and Radion, and they kept it together. There was a bit of contact there. Nervy moments from both drivers, but they make it all work eventually. And now, well, Tarkin Gino is starting to lose positions here. He's not made his pit stop, so everybody around him on fresher tyres. Mr. Wouter with a 3-second penalty to boot as well. And now we are really just waiting on Tabran, and you just feel like a safety car is just a moment away. If any of these drivers in this pack get it all wrong, it is going to surely end in tears. And, well, Andy then has a new problem because he's going to have to really think about Tabran as a potential race contender. And here we go now. Evil making his way past Tarkin Gino as well. And that as easy as you like. And those fresher tyres paying dividends for the McLaren driver. As I mentioned earlier on, McLaren yet to score points. But Evil, as he's already in the top 10, is definitely in the right spot. It is Pleasant Snake and Rush Siri going side by side for 8th place. But in the end, Pleasant Snake backs out that move. Oh, Evil there missing La Source, and so has to take a wider line, might get the exit speed, but lost a lot of speed on corner entry, and well, it's all had to reset. But now Fellow Sun has one mission to get within 3 seconds of Danger David and try and capitalise on that penalty window, as now Mr. Welter and Enzo go side by side again. Look at the top speed of that Haas driver there. Does very well there to get past Enzo, but also getting right on the tail of Fellow Sun there. Oh my word. But anyway, that all works itself out. And well, I was just going to talk about Andy Ardre and how once he's ahead, he will turn on the boosters. And he's done that already. It is now, the gap has increased by 0.8 of a second to Moksha behind, so 2.5 seconds, and Moksha very much in a race of his own. And now, well, Tabrad will surely be caught sooner rather than later. Not much more left on those mediums, I would imagine. And Tabrad probably going to make his pit stop at the end of this lap, or maybe the next lap, depending on how he's feeling. Let's cut to the Aston Martin driver right now for you. No, stays out, so he goes through the bus stop for another lap, and it looks like there's a battle commencing here. 10th place, maybe? I don't know. So that was Jolly Boy John getting past Flip, I think that was. What? Oh, Evor. Evor's had a moment, I think. Yeah, I think Evor's had a moment, so that's unfortunate for him. As Fellow Son in the pits again? That was a short-lived stint. But I think he's probably writing off the win at this point, and potentially any podiums. If a safety car is to come out now, it's going to spell disaster. Let's see what he does. Is this... It's another... Is it a front wing change? No, it is not. So it's just for tyres. Onto the mediums he goes. Down in 15th place. And, well, it's a very big risk right now, because if a safety car comes out, his race is all but said and done. And at the moment here, we are going to witness a battle with Flip. And look at that. The parting of the Red Sea happens. And it's Jolly Boy John up into 9th. And Evor following through into 10th place. And now Evor, well, has tried to fight Jolly Boy John there. And, well, I think we're seeing Rolly and Kavashka go side by side one another. They indeed do. Into Lacombe they go. And Flip is up into 12th place. Kavachka down to 13th now as SSRL Quincy with his, I think, first track limits penalty. Indeed it is. 3 seconds added onto his total race time. But now Andy is just on the back of Tabran. He can see the Aston Martin driver in his sights. And Andy is setting the world alight with his pace at Belgium. He has been unstoppable so far. And with 11 laps to go and another pit stop, surely... this race is academically won for the Mercedes driver, unless if a silly error was to happen. Does Tabran go into the pits? That looks to be the line. It indeed is. So Andy Andre now reassumes the lead of the race. Moksha will be up into second. It's been impressive stint, but oh, there's been a caution! Oh my word, what's happened? I think the new driver has got into a bit of trouble here at campus. So caution in sector 3. Let's see if he can get that car moving again. He certainly can, so no safety car required. But on lap 30 now, 22, we had our first scare. And at the moment, it was with the V-carb of Bavish. So, as of right now, things will resume on. And we will soon see what is going to happen. But at the moment, it's Pleasant Stake here, up into 5th place. And he's about to overtake Mr. Martin for 4th place. And they will want to work together to try and get in with that 3-second window of Danger David there. Pleasant Stake already done his first stop, so he's got another one to go. And, you know, the undercut works so well around here. If you can pit before everybody else, then you will get an advantage. Now, unfortunately, Andy Andre seems to be the exception to the rule here, because he is fast, whatever you give him. If you gave him 20-lap mediums... compared to 3 seconds there for us to see, compared to everybody else on fresher tyres, Andy would find a way to keep the pace up. He's just that good of a driver. Whatever the situation is, he adapts to it rather well. And he just does his best work there. What can I say? He's not a 3-in-a-row champion for no reason, that's for sure. And it looks like the competition is only with Fellow Son, but now Fellow Son all the way down in 11th place. Now, don't forget, he's already made his pit stop, but it's very much the win written off for him as of right now. Pleasant Stake still trying to build that gap as now Moksha, well, has clearly been watching the broadcast. He's now making his final pit stop. I do believe he might be on the soft tyres. I'm not too certain, though. Don't quote me on that. It is going to be the medium tyres. So he must have... Did he start on the hards? That one's going to puzzle me a little bit. If somebody can remind me of what Moksha was on, or maybe I can just talk to him after the race. That's also a possibility. And Pleasant Stake as well makes his second and final pit stop. And we'll see what happens there. But now with 14 laps out of 22 to go, Well, we've had no safety cars as of right now, but we are going to see a position change. That's Enzo up into 3rd place, and Brown just still trying to keep up, but he's doing very well. He's on that softer compound of tyre as, oh, fellow son with a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. And that is the same penalty he got last night, even though it was a lot later into the race. But I think that is the podium surely very much done and dusted. And now we are probably going to see Brown into the podium spots, but at the moment we still need the pit stops to work themselves out, and if there's a safety car period, well, that will just throw everything into disarray. But at the moment now, Moksha has caught up to this pack and needs to dispose of them as quickly as he can. He's on the fresher compound of tyre compared to these 3 drivers. So it is absolutely imperative he makes moves as soon as he can. Will we see a spectacular move around the outside of Blanchemont? Wait and see, because we're about to approach that corner as of right now. So here we go. Moksha will have the slipstream. He'll also be using his ERS. And we'll see what happens. But here we go. No, wasn't close enough for a spectacular at Blanchemont. Will it be close enough for a dive at the bus stop? Not quite there, as now Enzo loses a few positions as well, but I do believe someone's coming into the pits. That is Enzo there. So no, it isn't Enzo. It's certainly it's somebody coming into the pits, that's for sure. So no, I was right, it was Enzo. I was right. And then Evo Jolly Boy John coming to the pits, so that gives Moksha a bit of free room there, and now he's going to get a bit of free DRS as well. This is a nightmare if you're Andy Andre, but I don't think... Yeah, no, Moksha's not quite close enough, but so he needs to get this move done. Here and now, the DRS opens, and now he's going to be looking down the Kemmel Straight to make a move on Flip, and the Haas driver doesn't make that hard at all. In fact, he makes that rather easy, and that's Brown up into... No, that's Moksha up into 4th place, 5th place even, my apologies. So, makes the move there, and Brown... Well, he's on the cusp of a podium, guys. Look at this. I didn't call this at the beginning of the race, but Brown has made a spectacular 3 positions, and now he's very real onto as Enzo gets a 3-second penalty as well. Oh, for Enzo, this was looking so good, and now we are dealing with a case of who can keep it between the white lines as of right now. Crank George into the pits as well for his 2nd stop, so Sir Ibo will take that position for the time being. And now, Brown is surely going to try and have a go for 3rd place, even though he can wait until the 3-second pit stop, 3-second window is applied at the end of the race. But then again, you don't really want to wait that far either. Danger David will now make his 2nd and final pit stop of the race. What time does he go on to? He goes on to a 2nd set of mediums there, and they should be fresh. Oh, caution in Sector 3. We've had a crash in Sector 3. Who is that involving? It was Flip, I think. He just got a bit too wide on the track, but no safety car deployed as of yet, and I think there's a lot of hearts in mouths whenever we see a yellow flag. Fellow Son and Danger David are fighting to get the exit of the pit lane, but at what cost, you would think? Brown at the moment still pacing on those soft compounded tyres, not able to catch up to Mr. Walter. But now, Moksha is trying to gain the DRS advantage ahead as well. Pit stops coming in outside of the top 10 as well. Flip completes the stop. Tarkangino completes the stop as well. Final countdown waves. Hello to you in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well, as Sir Ibo gets an additional 3-second penalty for track limit violation. So that's his total up to 6 seconds now, along with Crank Jorg. A bit unfortunate for him, but now you're looking at how things are panning out, and you are thinking, well, Pleasant Slake has a shot at the podium. Brown and Moksha have a shot at the podium. So at the moment, it looks to be like Brown and Moksha are going to be 2nd and 3rd. But remember, Brown still hasn't served his 2nd and final pit stop. Now, will he do that at the end of this lap? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Andy begins lap 17 out of 22. He still needs to make his final pit stop as well. I imagine he will go onto the soft tyres and try and probably take fastest up as well. Brown doesn't try for that move into the bus stop, but he will get 2nd place for the time being. So Mr. Walter makes his 2nd and final pit stop. He will... let's see, what would he do? Let's keep an eye on the Haas driver. His pit box is very far away. And yeah, we'll soon see what happens there. Fellow Son up into 4th as well. Danger David up into 5th. Rush the Syria into 6th. And I think Pleasant Snake isn't going to be too far behind this indeed. That's him up in 7th. Mr. Wouter on the softs till the end of the race. I think that is a good call from him. 6 laps there as we have a caution in Sector 1. But that's because of the pit exit there. Or was it? Did Evor have a moment there? There was somebody on the grass. But it's all very short-lived and will continue racing. But at the moment there, Danger David and Fellow Son fighting for 4th place. And Danger David comes out on top there for the time being. They don't want to fight too hard because they've got the Williams of Pleasant Snake behind as well, as Kovachka makes a move on Mr. Welter for 8th place. But Mr. Welter trying to find a way through as the Kicksauber kind of had ruined momentum. But here we go, down the inside maybe into Brusellis. No, not quite. So Mr. Welter even will look to have another go. Moksha and Fellow Son for podium. I wouldn't count out to Brown as of right now. He probably will go on to a second set of softs, and he will be rapid at the end of this race. So don't count to Brown out either. But Moksha, I don't know. To Brown is going to leave it a little close. 5 laps to go as soon as he makes his pit stop. We'll see what happens, but at the moment, to Brown now is about to approach the bus stop chicane. He's surely seeing Moksha in his rearview mirror and doesn't care. I don't know what to Brown is thinking here. He's got a chance at the podium. Needs to make a final stop. At the moment, still hasn't come in for that vital set of tyres. He's on the 146 as of right now. This is becoming very interesting from the Aston Martin driver, that's for certain. As Kovachka also in the background makes his second and final stop. He's just come off of 7-lap-old mediums. And Evor has been given a clear run from 10th position on the rest of the field, really. So he could look to improve a few positions. 3 seconds penalties for the 3 drivers in front, which are Russ Nasiri, Mr. Wouter, and Enzo there. So they're going to have to be careful because Evor will be charging. He's on 3-lap-old soft tyres. So they might be seeing their best already. And in actual fact, that gap looks to be increasing to Russ Nasiri more than anything. And it looks like Mr. Wouter and Russ Nasiri side by side. Russ Nasiri is off the track there. Doesn't look like there was any contact at all. But either way, that's going to be a bit of an annoyance to the Ferrari driver. And we'll see how that all pans out as Kovachka now makes a move for 13th place there on Quincy. And Quincy very much not enjoying things as well. I say not enjoying things. He is, well, down a position. So he wouldn't have appreciated that move from Kovachka at all. And he's going to surely try and fight back. And Andy Andre now makes his second and final pit stop. But to be fairly honest with you, as Pleasant Snake gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations, all of a sudden, Evor, if he can catch up to this field, to the pack in front, he's with a very good shout of, I would say, 6th position. Why is Sir Brown still not stopped? This is making no sense at all. Is he waiting for a safety car? Because one's not going to happen now. It's too late. Surely, what is Sir Brown hanging on for? Andy RJ comes out ahead, of course, so no real contest there. What did I miss, says Danny Larson. Hello to you. Welcome to the stream. Not too much, in all honesty. Well, I say not too much. There's been a lot of action up and down the field. Fellow Son, championship leader coming into this, has unfortunately had a bit of a bad qualifying. And a lot of 3-second penalties have been thrown around. So we're not really going to know who is where until the final lap has been completed by all of the drivers. But a lot of contact between Bavish and SSRL Quincy earlier in the race. So the new guy making a bit of contact with the admin. So not the best start there. But at the moment, one of the main headlines is to Brown, currently up in 2nd place on an old soft compound of tyres. He's trying to hang on to 2nd, but he's still got to complete another stop. There is a mandatory 2-stop rule, and I cannot stress this enough. And Tabran is yet to make that 2nd stop, so he's the outlier in all of this, but could make up a few positions thanks to the penalties that have been influenced behind him. So we'll see how that happens. Ever as well in 10th, well, he's looking like he's out of things as of right now. He's got 2 seconds to make up. But here we go. Moksha is going to try and make a move for second place round the outside there into Blanchimont, but didn't need the corner. He had the straight line speed and the tyre life. And Tabron is now relegated into third, and you would imagine he needs to pit right now. No, still doesn't pit. I don't know what he's thinking, because he will be disqualified from the standings of the race if he doesn't pit. He needs to pit now. Or, well, okay, he can't now, but he'll have to pit at the end of this lap, or else his race is in tatters. The safety car will not come out for the final 2 laps, so he can't really rely on that anymore. He's kind of used up that lifeline, and Moksha up into second place. He has been consistently finishing on the podium, and, well, it is going to be a great end to the week for him in SSRL. He has done an absolutely outstanding job over these past few races, and looking like he is going to be a championship contender, but doesn't quite have the pace of the current world champion, Andy Aldre, in front. And Andy has just been on another level this time around, and Babish gets another penalty. That's 9 seconds added on to his time. We have a caution in Sector 3 for one of the McLarens. Oh no, it's the V-Carb of Babish. He's got that completely wrong out the exit of the bus stop. He gets underway eventually, but I am very surprised there. We didn't see anything at all. He's now down to 18th place, and that is a bouncy V-Carb there going through La Source. And he's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. He doesn't want to add any more, or he could have his teammate Grant George for company. But as of right now, V-Carbs won't score any points. So it's a bit of a disaster for him. But now Tabron is approaching the bus stop chicane again. And at the moment, he is probably... well, he needs to make a pit stop. There's no question of that. And now Andy Aldre sets the fastest lap of 1:42.76. What? Tabron still doesn't make his stop. What is he doing? This is a confusing call from the Aston Martin. He surely knows that this is a 2-stop mandatory rule. I do think he'd be disqualified, so I'll have to ask Quincy about that at the end of the race. But at the moment, Tabron in all sorts of trouble and will have to pit at the end of this lap. No choice in the matter. Danger David as well is behind there, so it looks like to me it's Danger David and fellow son fighting for the podium. Tabron is out of this now, so Danger David and fellow son take it away. 2 laps to go here at Spa. They are fighting for 3rd place in tonight's race. 20 seconds at least, says Energetic, so Tabron would not even finish inside the top 10 once that penalty is applied. It is going to bring him all the way down to 11th place. He'd finish just ahead of Rowley as things stand right now, but that will probably be dimly viewed in the steward's room as well. But here we go. 2.1 seconds to second place is Tabron. And at the moment now, Danger David and fellow son, as I've already said, fighting for 3rd. But, oh, caution in Sector 2, short-lived, so just like it was a small mistake there, but Russ Siri gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations, and that would mean that Jolly Boy John and Ever are promoted up a position, 9th and 10th respectively. But here we go. We're going to go on to the final lap now, as, oh, Russ Siri has had another moment, and that is looking like the place where George Russell had his crash. I think that was with Valtteri Bottas when the tyre went flying in real life. But anyway, at the moment now, it is the battle for 3rd place. And Tabron won't be making his 2nd stop. So now Danger David needs to make a move. And at the moment, fellow son and David go side by side. The Scottish and Hungarian drivers are fighting for the last place on the podium. They will both have DRS down the Camel Straight through a Rouge into Rally. And fellow son has a moment in the background. Hasn't cost him too much momentum though. But Danger David overtakes Tabron, and that is important. But now fellow son will get the double slipstream. Fellow son needs to make a move into Lecom, and Tabron cuts him off at the nose. And unfortunately for fellow son, he is now gonna have to sit behind Tabron and try and make a move into Bruxelles. He isn't able to, not close enough, and Tabron is costing fellow son time. So that means Danger David will be on third will be in third as things stand right now. Tabran still fighting aggressively, and I don't know what for, but they go wide at Puon, and the fellow son moves up into fourth place, which is where he will finish on the standings, but he will be frustrated with the Aston Martin driver there for holding him up. But at the moment, we will now cut to Andy RJ, because it has been one heck of a performance. He has dominated Division 1 last night, and he has dominated Division 2 tonight. He will come across the line for the second time this week, a winner in SSRL, and at Spa he does the double. And Moksha, well, it's been third place 3 times in a row across both divisions, but tonight it's second for the Alpine driver. Danger David in third. Fellow son, oh wait a minute, as Tabran is promoted into third, but because of penalties, he will have one applied post-race. But now it's Enzo and Pleasant Snake, and it's Enzo that wins out that battle with Mr. Router in 8th. But Evor lost a lot of time there, and now Jolly Boy John, is he going to have a go? Nope, not close enough. But there you go, that's all said and done. Blob dance there from Danny Larson there, one of my moderators. And Rush the Siri across the line in 11th there, eventually. Rolly as well. Across the line in 11th after penalties are applied. 13th is Quincy. 14th is Kovachka. Dark and Gino comes home 15th. And then Flip will round out the 16th there. Eventually. And he gets across the line after the bus stop. He flipped. He does a bit of a wheel spin there for the camera. And then who is that? That's Ibo across the line as well. So Bavish improves up into 19th. Then that's Quan. And then we're just waiting for Crank Jorg, Crank Jorg there, what a name, in 18th there. Yeah, that's Ibo for faster cars. Ah, I see, so that was Sir Ibo. Okay, well, I don't think fellow son will be very happy with Tabran, to be honest with you. Tabran is going to lose his position regardless, has at least 20 seconds on him. As of right now, so that is an unfortunate shame. And we have just had an announcement that reports in the report section, please. So there we go. Let's see, has there been any word from fellow son? Just GG's as of right now, but let's just have a look at your top 3 for the time being. So Andy RJ, there you go, on the top step. Tabran will not keep third place. He will not keep that, I can tell you for free. That's going to go to the Red Bull of Danger David. But Moksha, an impressive second place. What a drive from the Alpine. And what a race, says Captain Foxy. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. And I imagine you were watching in the background. Well, well, well. Andy RJ will assume the lead of the championship yet again. He is so used to being there. He's been in the lead at Season 2. He's been in the lead at Season 3. And he was also the winner in Season 4. Controversy here and there are what we love. Absolutely. But anyway, I don't know who I'm going to be interviewing, that's for sure. So I know I'm going to be interviewing... I know I'm going to be interviewing Andy. I know I'm going to be interviewing Moksha. But I do hope we interview Danger David, because we know... he has got a 20-second penalty at the very least waiting for him. So I don't think we'll have an interview from him. But there you go. Just to finalise the results on track, that is. It's Andy RJ first, Moksha in second. And I did not get enough time to read that. So thank you, EA. But anyway, let's see. But yeah, no. Now Tabran has learnt of the mandatory 2-stop rule. I don't know how he could have. We'll see. I don't know who I'm interviewing at the moment for third. So we'll wait and see. But we're just going to take a bit of a break there. Going to let everybody recover. We'll have interviews with the top 3. And I'll let you know who we'll be interviewing for third once I know. But anyway, guys, don't go anywhere. We've got some post-race interviews to come straight after this break.
I don't understand German.
Moksha, what did you say about your second place? What's going on? Why is my data all messed up?
Just so everybody knows, that is Quincy
Moksha.
there speaking. So first,
Moksha.
Yes.
Sorry, mate. My data's all messed up. I can see you now. It's UNT. What's his name? No Danger David. Sorry.
yeah, it's Danger
No
David
worries.
third. I love how we had that conversation on stream. Very nice. But
Just an announcement. T-Ran's going to lose his podium place due to not stopping twice.
yes, I knew as much. I thought so. What would be the penalty time for that, Quincy?
So it will be whatever the stop time is, plus 20 seconds.
Oh, so more than 20 seconds then.
Yeah, so it'll be about 40 seconds in total for this penalty.
Right, okay then. My word. Okay then. Thank you very much, Quincy, for that announcement.
Okay.
We're just waiting for Danger David at the moment, aren't we?
Yes, I'm not sure if he's going to join, so I'll just carry on.
No problem.
Until I can get in contact with him.
I can certainly do that, no problem at all. So we are now going to begin post-race interviews with the top three, and we are going to start, well, Andy, congratulations. Winner in Division 1 last night, winner in Division 2 tonight. That was an epic couple of nights for you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what what the deal is with this track, but something just clicked. Both quali and the race just went perfectly yesterday and today also. I don't know. I didn't give it any special attention, but I guess something about this track just suits my style, and it was a very comfortable race.
And I remember how you were talking last season about how, like, you were trying not to take this so seriously and just take it easy. In terms of looking ahead towards the championship for this season, you were 5 points behind fellow Sun coming into tonight. And now that you've seen fellow Sun finish, I think it was about 5th place. Don't quote me on that, because again, post-race stuff here really messes with my brain. But like, you must surely, like, you've taken the lead to the championship. Don't know by how much. You must be feeling good about things going forward from here.
Yeah, it's a new feeling for me. I don't think I ever led the championship early on, but I do know that this is a long season, so a lot can still happen. But the most important thing is that I just keep bringing home good results, consistent podium finishes, and yeah, this way surely the points will add up, and I can be hoping for a good result at the end.
All right. Yes, absolutely. But going forward now, I mean, obviously Fellow Sun has been a contender, but now we have Moksha on the podium yet again. Who are you looking out for as, like, just somebody to keep at arm's length in every weekend? Is it Moksha, is it Fellow Sun, or is there somebody else you're eyeing as well, like Danger David, for example?
Well, not sure how to evaluate that right now, but a lot of my feelings are based on last season's performances where David was the faster of the guys that you just mentioned. So I'm guessing probably he will be my main rival, but this season, as you said, Fellason and Moksha has shown good pace and good results, and yeah, we'll just have to see.
All right, then. Well, Andy, not really much else I want to ask you about. It looked like you've had everything under control, and congratulations on what was an absolutely dominant win. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you again over these next few weeks. Have a very good evening, and again, congratulations.
Yep, thank you. Good evening to you too, and thanks again.
You're welcome. Bye-bye for now. And, well, we move on to our second place driver. I'm so used to seeing you in third, but Moksha, congratulations on second place. What a drive from yourself. How was that?
Yes, thanks, Dave. It was a completely different experience since yesterday. I mean, yesterday I was involved in a lot of battles. Constantly was driving with Andrew, but today I don't know. I made it to the first corner and then I was kind of alone. I think I overtook Andy one time, and then after he re-overtook me, he was gone. At the end, it was a very quiet race. I had some traffic, but I came through without any issues, and yeah, just driving it home, to be honest.
Yeah, it really looked like you kind of came up out of nowhere. It was really the pit stops that kind of worked to your advantage. So, what was the strategy kind of going in? Was there a fixed strategy, or did you just play it by ear during the race?
No, that wasn't exactly my strategy. I wanted to go yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't because Fellison, as a teammate, went first in, and then I needed to extend one lap. After the second stop yesterday, the safety car came out, so I was really hoping it not happen today again. So there was no safety car. It was good for me, and yeah, I mean that was exactly my strategy. It worked. I was going for the undercut 2 times, and yeah, I built a gap to David, and I think Fellison was behind him, and I comfortably stayed there. Yeah.
And well, obviously going forward, you said, I remember you were saying to me, oh, you won't see me on the podium all that much. But yeah, here we are again between Division 1 and Division 2. This is, I think, your 4th race in a row on the podium. Are you looking to fight for the championship now if you could get a couple of wins here and there?
Still not a contender for the championship. I mean, look at the pace from Andy, and Feddersen had not a bad day. He's faster, and also David. They are really fast, but yeah, I was playing it smart. I was keeping it behind, keeping it silently, just stay behind and waiting for my chance. And yeah, this is a pretty good strategy, which worked the last few races. And yeah, I hope I can continue this.
All right. Moksha, congratulations. 1 place higher this time, but your podium consistency keeps going, and hopefully it may continue, and we may see you here for the next few weeks. Have a very good evening.
Thank you. I enjoyed the speakings with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Quincy, I take it we won't be hearing from David.
No, I doubt it. I can't seem to reach him. But thank you again, Dave, for casting. Can't wait to watch it back.
No problem at all. Quincy, thank you so much for hosting these races, and yeah, well, see you next week.
All right, thank you, bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, that is all from SSRL for another week. You saw on this channel Division 1 last night, and you've seen Division 2 tonight. We'll skip the ad breaks because we're just about to end anyway. But for going forward in the next few for the next few weeks, next week will be the last race before a 1-week break, and we will be off to Portimao for our first qualifying session. We will be back at 7:30 p.m. GMT, so join us, same place, same time, at the same day next week. I might also be bringing you Division 1 action as well next week if Herman cannot return. So to everybody that has watched, driven, steward and admin over SSRL, we wish you all a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive. See you next week on Monday, maybe Monday, but definitely Tuesday. Until then, bye-bye for now.